Well, good day, my friends. You know, there are many ways to shoot, many styles and techniques, and I'm showing you a few. First of all, I'm going to say that in my style of shooting, we get it all the way back first and relaxed, and then we aim. Okay? But there are other schools of thought where you squeeze lemons sort of between your shoulder blades. You know, you aren't at full draw, so you get back and then you expand, they call it. Expand. I disapprove of this style. I don't think it's a really good style. Let me show you something. If you stand up and take your hands and just put them in front of you and now bring your shoulder blades back, you'll see that your hands separate and they come back. They come towards you. Isn't that true? Squeeze the lemons, hands expand, they come towards you. Now, let's put a bow in our hand. And now we're going to aim, and we get back, and now we start to expand. You see what happened? If you're holding it on and you start to expand by squeezing your back together, your bow hand will go to the left. Now, I noticed that because I was watching some guys in FITA in Europe, and they were shooting, and there was this one guy that was doing very good, but his group, the right side arrows were in the center, and the left side were off to the left. And then I noticed him doing this. That's why he was shooting to the left. So I'm giving you a heads up. Just this idea of expanding for no other reason than to expand, yes, it will increase your pressure, but if you already go back, you don't have to do that. And when you're already back, now you can press forward towards the target, not squeeze the lemon and shoot to the left. Anyhow, hate to disillusion all those lemon squeezers, but that's how I feel about it. Anyhow, we'll come back now and do a little bit of shooting. Okay, boys, back in a minute. Okay, guys, so I'm going to spend some time here teaching you rather than just performing for you. You know, I'm 76 years old. I was 76 years old a couple days ago, so I better teach you because maybe I won't be around to teach you. Anyhow, listen up. I'm going to show you 3 steps that will put you right on the line. You don't have to do it this way, but I'm going to teach you 3 steps that will put you right on the line. Now watch. First of all, I always look at the target with my weak eye, because I know that if the weak one is on, the strong one is on automatically, okay? But I'll just step back a little bit now. When I put up my bow, you see when I put up the bow, the arrow points that way. So the very first thing to do is to put a little tension on your bow. Otherwise, when you pull it back, it will wiggle. But if you put tension on it, when you put it on, it won't wiggle when it comes back. Now, can you see how I put tension on and you simply put the tip right on the center line? Now, the next step is to do a little tug. And when I do that, I'm going to do a little bit more of a tug, and I'm going to roll my elbow down, and the arrow will almost go perfectly straight. So it's a tug, you put your arrow on, now roll your elbow down and you see the arrow goes almost perfectly straight. But if you can notice, it's slightly still off to the back is still off to the right slightly because I'm right-handed. So what we do now is tension on, put the tip on, roll the elbow. Now just take a little step backwards. And when I take a step backwards, can you see how straight that arrow is? That's the 3 steps. A little tension, put it on the center line, roll the elbow, get it almost straight. Now a little back step and it will go perfectly straight. After that point, now it's just a straight draw to the eye. Not to the nose, not to the corner of the mouth, not to the chin. Straight to the eye, because no matter where your head is, as long as it's coming straight, it will be straight. But if your head is in a different angle, you'll feel the touch in different places. That doesn't matter, as long as it's straight. And then you just press and let go. Okay? Anyhow, that wasn't any shooting, but that's some of the best advice you ever got. Now, I'll be back in a minute. Well, guys, you know, I've never found such a accurate way of shooting as not anchoring. I know it's very unorthodox, but you know, you just put it on and line it up. And you know, as long as I am on the power line, I'm just hitting everything. You know, watch my fingers, they're way out here. After a while, I'll bring them back here. I'll just show you how versatile it is, but I kind of call this my Indian draw. Right in there. It's very simple, and I can call it an Indian draw because one of my great-great-grandmothers was an Indian. So, you know, Anglo-Saxon, Scandinavian, North American Indian. What do you think of mixed marriages? But you can sort of see that right in there, you know, that I'm not touching anything. I'm just lining it up. So much for the permanent anchor. You know, if you're shooting at the Olympics and you've got the big balance bar and all that kind of stuff and the clicker, you know, the drop away shelf and everything, well, you have to be pretty rigid, I'd say. But with a bow like this, you can be very fluid. As long as you realize that you can be fluid, you know. Just bang, right in there. So it almost appears like I'm not aiming. Oh, the knock is broken off this one, so forget that. But basically I'm drawing back, and as long as you're on that power line, you're drawing towards your eye. When you let go, you can hit the target. And as you saw, I was not anchoring at all. I was just lining up from about here, just like Horace Ford says, keep the arrow in front of you. You know, if you can line it up better when it's in front of you. But you saw that. No, I'll just show you. That's just like, you know, just bopping them. Right? There they are. They're right in there. Anyhow, we'll be back in a minute. Do some more. Okay, my friends. I am finding that this eye anchor that I'm talking about is letting me shoot the most accurate I've ever shot in my life. So basically, the anchor's out the window. It's lining it up to the eye that seems to be the most important factor, not where you touch your hand. The reason why I'm finding that sometimes I touch my nose, sometimes my hand is on my cheek, sometimes those two fingers might go right in by my eye, other times those two fingers might go down near my lip, and of course they could sometimes just come right to the corner of the mouth. As long as it's in line to your eye, whether your head is there and you touch your nose, or your head is there and you touch your cheek, or your head is there and you touch your eye, it's always straight. Draw to the eye. It's always straight. You know? Put it on, roll it, take your little back step, and this time I'm just going to keep it right up by my eye, you know? So I can decide on the draw, oh, that's that broken one again. So I can decide on the draw, do I want to bring it up to my eye or down to the corner of my mouth? But generally, I find bringing it to the eye up high gives you a much smaller gap, so that's better. Sort of like this idea. So I'll just deliberately bring it up. You see, I've just deliberately brought it up to the eye. Not a problem. The eye can tell when it's the back of the arrow is looking straight. It's not a problem at all. It's very easy to do, actually, once you are told that you can do it. You don't have to anchor in the same place. You know? And it works fine. It works really good. So I know it's a little bit unorthodox, but it works. And the fact that it keeps your gap small, that's important, really important. Anyhow, get some arrows. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, guys, so I'll move the camera up here so it's pretty close so that you can see where my hand is now. This time, I'm going to keep drawing with my arrow lined up to the target, right? Put the tip on first, then roll your arm, get the back on, take your back step, keep coming back towards your eye. But I'm going to keep it up real high, so you're going to see that it's not an anchor down there at the corner of the mouth or anything like that. It's going to be way high. And anyhow, take a peek and see what happens. Okay, so, you know, I do the little roll and all that kind of stuff, and then I begin my draw. Now you see, it's up there, and the hand just releases. John, I'm not pulling backwards, so I'm smacking myself in the face, you know. So it takes a certain amount of hand control. But basically, this is what's going on. You can see that I'm up real close. Hand just relaxes. I don't know if watching that helps or not, but I'm keeping that arrow, the back of that arrow, coming towards my eye, and I'm keeping it high. I don't care where it touches on the face, as long as it's high, and I'm looking along that arrow. You see? So it's a funny kind of little anchor, because it's not an anchor, you know. It's just the arrow's lined up, and I keep coming back until I touch some place, because my posture or form is not always the same, so I can't touch the same place, or it won't be the same. I have to keep it straight to my eye so that it is the same. Yeah, tell it like it is. Keep it high, right? Get it right back there. Keep it relaxed. Nice. Anyhow, I'm going to go down and get a couple of arrows. We'll be back in a minute. Well, my friends, let's take a couple more shots here. Archery is an art. And if you're not an artist, you may not catch on. You notice how I'm just drawing right back to my eye? Deadly friendly. Those are just words. I hope it means something to you. Arrow alignment. But I'm really, really doing it up high, you know? That's what I'm after right now. As long as you're on the line, it doesn't matter if your hand's out here, or here, or here, or here, or here, or here, as long as it's on that line. But it's easier to judge that line when your eye is close to it. Yeah, I do find that it's about the most accurate I've ever shot in my life. Remember, tug, put it on, roll it down, take your step back. It should be perfectly aligned to your eye. Now, start drawing to your eye. Now you need to have the strength to be able to do it. But that's all you have to do. See the steps? Eye on. Put it up, tug, put it on, roll it down, take a little back step, it's perfectly aligned, come back to the eye, right back to it, bang, right in there. You know, you can see that, in spite of talking that, but that group, you know, there's 2 just on at the top and 3 right in there. But that's typical. Nice tight groups, shot after shot. The system works. Back in a minute. Well, guys, I find it kind of interesting that I'm shooting very consistently without using a consistent anchor. As long as that arrow is being drawn towards my eye, it's going straight. Nobody tells you that, do they? As long as it's going straight. And if I get my eye right down there, very interesting how we're told, basically we're told never to touch our eye or up high like that. I forget, they have a word for the sebaceous or some darn thing, tissue, but if you touch it, you go blurry. You're always told that. Anyhow, it's not true. You can get your fingers right down there, bang, right in there. Yeah. It really minimizes the gap. That's one thing. And it simply gets the arrow close to the eye so you can see. It's real smooth, real straight. You have to be able to let your right hand relax a little bit, because when you line it up this way, you actually cock your wrist a little bit to get it to come back straight. So it's when it's back here, now the arm relaxes and lets the arm go straight and hang. So there is some torquing in the draw, and you have to get rid of it. Right? Tension on, put the point right on, roll the arm down, little back step. It looks very straight. Start coming back towards your eye, get it right back there, and relax the arm, and just let her go. Weak eye on, little front step, put it up, put a tug on the bow, put the tip right on the center, roll it down, it's almost straight, little back step, it goes perfectly straight, start looking at the target, just keep it coming back, bang. Anyhow, I'm going to go get some arrows, I'll be back in a minute. Okay guys, let's take a couple shots here. You know, I'm not really into making a string and making a bow and making a nock and making a cane arrow and so on and so forth. I'm just trying to show you some shooting techniques. That's it, you know. I don't have anything to prove. Put some tension on your bow. Put the tip on the center. Roll your arm down. Now take a little back step, which you don't have to do. You don't have to take that back step. You can always straighten it out with your shoulders as it comes back, but if you do that, it's perfectly straight. And now just keep the tip on and get your eye right down there. Bang. You know, I had a guy recently say, cut your fingernails. Like, what does that have to do with shooting a bow? I play my guitar. Cut your fingernails. Silly stuff, eh? You know why humans have fingernails? Because when we were a small shrew-like animal, like a little mouse type of animal, we use our fingernails to clean ourselves. You know, just like when you scratch your head and you get dandruff under your nails, before we washed, we used our flat nails, we're the only kind of animal that has them, to scrape the dandruff-like skin that we have off, and that kept us clean. And the small percentage of people or little animals that stayed clean that way in evolution, they passed on their genes and eventually became us. So leave my fingernails alone. I know too much, buddy. But a little tension, put it on, roll it down, take your back step, it will line up perfectly, have the strength to get it back until it's right in there. But that's what I'm teaching you. I'm teaching you how to shoot. It's hard enough, but I don't have to make strings or bows or any of those other things. I just have to teach you how to shoot. Tension on the bow, put the tip on the center, roll it down till it's almost straight, take a little back step, you'll see it will go perfectly straight, draw straight back, have the strength to draw straight back, and now bang. Oh, super duper. And I'm just showing off, you know, I didn't go blah, blah, blah. I just sort of held it there so you can tell. Oh, look, Gary can hold it there. Gary just doesn't cut his fingernails. I hope you guys are enjoying the ride, because this is how you shoot. And I'm finding this high draw extremely accurate. So I'm sharing it with you. Bang. The less you can move your hand, the better. The more you can hold it on, the better. The stronger you are, the better. Eye on. Tension on the bow. Put the tip on. Roll it down till it's almost straight. Take a little back step. Looks perfectly straight. Draw. Bang. Good enough. Okay. Arrow time. Be back in a minute. Okay, guys. I'm starting to wonder if I'm not running out of things to show you. You know, we've done a bunch of shooting, a bunch of techniques with different bows, and you're never going to see a compound bow, so this is about it. We've anchored in a lot of places. Now we're just shooting. It's fun. It's kind of a skill. That time I didn't even anchor. Nail them right in the center. Perhaps as you shoot for a long time, you just get more casual about it too, you know. See, I can just, well, pulling it off and talking. But yeah, you know, I can just sort of, right in there. You know, that was not anchoring at all. So what can I say? You know, just line it up and shoot. Anyhow, back in a minute. Okay, guys. So it's the high draw. Okay. You know, I had a guy also say this week, "You have more than 3 arrows. You have hundreds of arrows at your disposal. Shoot more arrows." Like I've got to shoot 100 arrows to give somebody a free lesson or get my fingers manicured, all this kind of stuff. The things that I'm teaching you are really important. And I do find that this high to the eye draw, where I was just doing it, bringing it up real high and shooting, works very good. I can only share with you what I know, you know. And I just find that being, you know, people snapping their fingers like, "Hey, shave your beard, make a bow, do this, do that." You're getting some free lessons. And, you know, I've done a lot more good for archery than I've done harm. Anyhow, I think I'm going to call it a night now. But those last 3 shots, you can see that you can get nice groups. And it's 3, not 100. Okay, guys, think about what I'm telling you. Have a good night.